Managing data center operations today demands speed, agility, and a pretty advanced skill set. And above all, managing and resolving multiple tasks without interruption is key. Interruptions cause delays, and delays in today's business world means lost revenue. So when an outage does occur, you need a solution to automate the many manual steps it takes to troubleshoot that outage, find the source, and get that line of business operating again. With CA Process Automation, you have the ability to increase the time to resolution by automating the many manual steps that can occur when troubleshooting a service outage. Let's take a look at an example here. The main Process Automation dashboard gives options to create new automated workflows, browse tutorials on how to design processes according to your current initiatives, respond to task items in your queue, and much more. Select the Libraries tab. Here you will find all the current processes within your library and their supportive content. Today we will look at the high CPU response process, which will demonstrate how the solution can automate the manual effort to isolate the source of high CPU consumption during a service outage and reduce the amount of time your customers are impacted. Select the high CPU response process. We see all the manual steps it normally takes to isolate high CPU consumption, but now in an automated workflow. A workflow is made of operators that perform certain functions. Those functions mimic the many steps involved in manually performing this task. When an operator performs its certain task or tasks successfully, the process moves on to the next step, and so forth, until the entire process is successfully completed. Let's take a look at one of the operators that make up this process. Click the highlighted operator to view its properties. The Properties pane opens up on the right-hand side. We see that this operator has two inputs, minimum CPU usage and a sample time. Sample time is set to 10 seconds. Minimum CPU usage is set to a variable. This makes it easy to change if the number needs to be passed into or retrieved from another source. Now let's understand some of the underlying components that make up this process. When we take a look at this data set, we see that this process utilizes an ignore and kill list to determine how to proceed through the workflow. If a running process is found, it is compared to the ignore list, meaning it's an acceptable process that should continue running, or the kill list, meaning if found, terminate this process. Back to the process. Normally, this process would get kicked off by an event management system. In our demo today, we're going to kick it off manually. Select the Play button to start our process. Select Yes, so we can monitor the process while it's executing. The process instance allows you to see the process in action. Operators in purple are currently running, green means they have succeeded, red means failed, blue has yet to run. The Get Top Processes operator will run, look for high CPU consumption, and compare that to our ignore or kill list in our dataset we saw earlier. Finally, the process will go to the Update Dataset swim lane and create tasks for any processes that are not in the database. So a rogue process was found consuming large amounts of CPU cycles, the probable cause of our service outage. But this process was not in our database of known processes to ignore. So an actionable task was created for our administrators. Select the drop-down to choose an appropriate action to remediate our service outage. Select Kill and Add to Kill List. Now, if and when this automated workflow runs again, and this rogue process is found to be consuming CPU cycles, it will be terminated immediately and reduce the time our customers may experience an interruption in service. CA Process Automation delivers exceptional value to IT staff and IT's bottom line, in part due to the wide range of IT processes it supports. Today's demo was just one example of how CA Process Automation is used in data centers around the world. A complete list would be impossible to compile because of the solution's flexibility, but other process areas include disaster recovery, security checks, and policy enforcement. Visit us today and learn how CA Process Automation can dramatically improve your IT service levels, lower risk, and reduce costs that can keep you from investing in innovation that drives your business growth.